Edmonds Floretum Garden Club was founded in August of 1922. We are the oldest garden club in the state of Washington. Floretum is the botanical term meaning a place for flowers. The Depression era came soon after the Roaring Twenties, and the yearbooks were hand-painted and drawn. And then World War II came along in 1941. The club suspended its activities from 1943 to 1945. Flower gardens were dug up and replaced with vegetable gardens called Victory Gardens at the time. In 1956, we started the hanging baskets. At first, they were false flowers because there was no water available. But by 1960, we actually had living plants. And we've been doing those baskets ever since. The 50th anniversary was celebrated in 1972. Two of our previous presidents, Rachel Setchfield and Kay Hedges, were involved with a lot of this celebration of our 50 years. We donated cherry trees, helped plan downtown fountain, and donated $100 towards the fountain sculpture. The plant sale actually began in 1923, but in 1977 the club began awarding scholarships for students planning careers in horticulture. The funds generated from our plant sale kept increasing, and since its inception of scholarship funding, Floretum has awarded over $40,000 in scholarships. In 1980, the city asked us to help with planting the corners. They wanted our flower expertise, and so we did start the flowers in the corners and also at Anderson Center and the Veterans Plaza. And today, we still are happy planters. Floretum donated a tree that's used for the annual tree lighting ceremony. It's in the Centennial Plaza across from City Hall. Floretum's history with Old Milltown Garden, now called Hazel Miller Plaza, began with Rachel Setchfield. She was a longtime member and twice president of Floretum, and she was the caretaker of the original Old Milltown Garden for over 15 years. Old Milltown, there was a lot of talk because it was actually privately owned. Most people didn't realize that. And they were talking about wanting to expand the Old Milltown site and bring a building all the way up to the sidewalk. Well, our president, Betty Larman, heard about that, and with our backing, she talked to the city, and finally the city agreed to buy the Old Milltown property. We decided we would help out by having a handmade quilt by Floretum members, and it was raffled off. We sat in the Old Milltown property selling those tickets. And with that, the money from the quilt and separate donations, we presented a check for $12,000 to the city to go towards the Old Milltown, now Hazel Miller Plaza property. Here you will see us starting the planting. The dedication for the Hazel Miller Plaza came in 2012. You'll see the picture there. Second from the left is Betty Larman, who was the person who really spoke up to the city. And there's Pauline Goebbels, who was organized that beautiful quilt that we made money on. And you will see in the park today a bench, and it says in memory of Rachel Setchfield, the original gardener of that property. And we continue to plant the Hazel Miller Plaza every spring. The Kiwanis decided to honor us in the year of 2015 for all the things we had done. Not only the beautification, but the education that we have for the Saturday workshops. And we gave working people a chance to participate in the club. And so we have a ceremonial brick in the plaza of the Edmonds Historical Museum. And then the COVID pandemic came along. But the members of Floretum and the officers remained steady. We even gained new members. We adapted. We continued the engagement via newsletters. We took advantage of Zoom for the meetings, and we adjusted the plant sale to the COVID requirements of distancing and masking. And we made the most money in our latest plant sale that we have ever made. And to keep people involved, we did the new children's activities at Krokeberg Garden. They were very popular. The children and the parents loved them. And so that's how we took care of problems for the COVID pandemic. We look forward to celebrating the 100th birthday of Floretum. We know the club will enthusiastically support the 2022 centennial celebration.